Hello, all of you beautiful, weird number of people. Welcome back to yet another episode of Data Analytics in Sports. It's been a while. It's been a hot second. I pride myself in keeping my enemies on their toes. I can never let them know my next move, so I decided to take like a week off. I have written in the top right corner of my notepad 7/25/21. So it's been a while. It's been a hot second, but as a man who does not believe in lengthy introductions, I'm just gonna jump. First and foremost, the Bears just traded Anthony Miller, wide receiver out of Memphis, to the Texans. Former second-round pick from 2018, currently 26 years old, heading into his fourth season in the league. You probably know him / heard about him most recently when he got ejected in the wild card game last year in the playoffs against the Saints for fighting. I think he even lost the fight too, which is why it's especially disrespectful. He's in his final year of his rookie deal, roughly a $1.2 million cap hit. It involves a swap of late round picks, according to, I think, Shefty, although I can't be completely positive as to what exactly is coming and going in the deal, because if you're not a Bears fan, you don't really care about this. He was a decent slot receiver, especially in his rookie year and his second year. It's odd. His rookie year, he had the fewest receptions he's ever had, the fewest yards, the most touchdowns, and the most yards per reception. But his yards per game were obviously very down because, again, he was a rookie. And then in his second year, I'll read off per year his numbers. His first year, 2018, his rookie year, 33 receptions, 423 yards, 7 touchdowns, 12.8 yards per receptions, yards per reception, and 28.2 yards per game. 2019, his second year, 52 receptions, 656 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12.6 yards per reception, 41 yards per game. And in 2020, the most recent year for him, 49 receptions, 485 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9.9 yards per reception, and 30.3 yards per game. So, big statistical drop from his third year. It seemed as if after his rookie year, he was going to have a lot of room for improvement. And in his second year, it seems like he really did improve. And then come his third year, we see, in fact, a very large regression. And it seemed like on both sides, both parties, both Anthony Miller and the Bears, were ready for something new, something different. And with, of course, the Texans trading Randall Cobb to the Packers, it makes a lot of sense for them to try to get, buy low for Anthony Miller in hopes that, maybe all he does need is, in fact, a change in scenery. Not that Houston is exactly a good change in scenery. They're not exactly the most well-run organization in sports, but still, who knows? Anything could happen, especially if Deshaun Watson turns out to not be just like the worst human to ever walk this earth, and he's actually innocent, which it doesn't look like he is. So, but if he is somehow, he just got a great slot receiver, and I'm sure he's going to make great use of him. Bears are moving on from the slot receiver. They acquired Damiere Byrd, Damiere. Dope last name, though. I do love that last name. I wonder if he's interested in pursuing advanced degrees, because if so, Dr. Byrd, very marketable. So sign him to a 1-year deal. Now, he's had a much more interesting career than, not much more interesting career than Anthony Miller, but his path to the Bears is super duper interesting. He played for New England last year, previously played for Carolina for 3 years and Arizona for 1 year, had a combined 28 games and 6 starts. Big jump at Arizona and New England. He played 3 years in Carolina. Wasn't really anything, I don't want to say anything special, but he definitely had a lot of flaws to his game. And as a non-Carolina Panthers fan, I got to be honest, I did not know he existed. But especially last year in New England, he had 47 receptions, 604 yards, 1 touchdown, 12.9, so basically 13 yards per reception and 37.8 yards per game. Now, I don't know how closely you have been listening to this podcast, but that stat line is almost the exact same as Anthony Miller's in 2019, his second year, his most productive year in the league. So basically, we're swapping out Anthony Miller for Anthony Miller. Hopefully, obviously. And what's even more encouraging about that is that Byrd played with Cam Newton in this most recent season. And Cam Newton, as good as he was, he no longer is that accurate of a thrower. So, and then previously, before that, At Carolina, he had 12 receptions, 2 touchdowns, 3 starts. Didn't really do a whole lot at Carolina. It was mostly in Arizona and especially last year in New England, where again he made such a big jump, and it's very comparable statistically to what Anthony Miller was able to do, especially in his most productive year in Chicago. Why we moved on? I mean, he was good. He had a good second year. He had a very promising rookie year. It just seemed like this whole time we've been waiting for Anthony Miller to sort of break out. He's heading into the last year of his rookie deal. I feel like Chicago was not going to pay him, and I can't really blame them for that, especially when the most recent memory we all have of Anthony Miller is him throwing punches against the Saints and getting ejected, which not cool. Don't do that. It's not a smart thing to do. Yeah, I just feel like he needed a change of scenery. He had a huge statistical drop-off in his third year. Everyone was really expecting him to make that big jump and be like a solid number 2 option to Allen Robinson, but it just seemed as though he just wasn't the guy, and he could have been, but I just feel like he needed to change the scenery, and I feel like the Bears are ready to move on. We didn't get a whole lot for him. The Texans bought low. I don't know if it was a win for both sides, because obviously if he blows up and does amazing with the Texans, then obviously the Bears are going to look back and be like, well, what the hell did we do so wrong that a great slot receiver has just blossomed into this incredible guy for the Texans of all teams? But who knows? Maybe I should have more faith in the Texans, although recent history leads me to believe I should not. Moving on from that, though, small news, but still, interesting. Anthony Miller, a guy I really, really liked coming out of college in Memphis as a sleeper, second-round pick. Every single draft, there's one wide receiver in the second or third round that ends up being like one of the best wide receivers in the draft. We saw that DK Metcalf was a second-round pick. I can't remember, but there's always a guy in the second or third round as a wide receiver or running back that sort of just exceeds everyone's expectations and ends up being like the best or second-best guy. But it doesn't matter. He's gone from the Bears. He's with the Texans. He might have another 5 years in this league. He might have another couple days. I don't know. Moving on from that, though, more and more news is coming out from the Chicago Bears, from the front office and from the people close to the team, and it's I'm going to start with this. Okay, the Chicago Bears, worst case scenario, is really bad. They are a really bad team. They could blow up. Everything could just go horribly wrong. Or we could win the division. Both are equally possible in my eyes. I genuinely think this team is a lot like the Giants, in that if I was a player on the Giants, I'm thinking to myself, okay, either Daniel Jones and this offensive line can give Daniel Jones time to hold on to the ball for way too long, which is something he really likes to do, and we could be really, really good. Like the Giants could hypothetically win 10, 11, 12 games, because I do think they have that good of an offense, especially with Saquon Barkley coming back. If that offensive line is above average, they could be a very good football team, or they could have the worst record in the league, and I'm not exaggerating. The Giants could either have the worst record in the league, or they could win their division. I genuinely believe that. They have such a low floor and such a high ceiling. I can't predict it. Like, I know how good the Washington football team, well, they also might implode because the players refused to get vaccinated and their coach just had he just got chemotherapy or some shit. Which, Jesus Christ, how stupid can you be to not get fucking vaccinated when your coach just got out of chemo? But I feel like they're gonna be good. They have such a good defense that even if their offense isn't good enough, and Ryan Fitzpatrick actually ends up playing like Ryan Fitzpatrick instead of a much better quarterback, they're still going to be okay. They're still going to win 6 to 10 games. They're not going to win the division. They're not going to end up with the first overall pick. Giants, I have no clue. And with this Bears team, I have no clue. We had a very bad offensive line last year, and we didn't really address it that much. We did. We got one guy who became sort of a meme because of he wore these nerdy glasses, even though he's probably the most intimidating person. east of the Mississippi, or is Chicago west of the? I don't know geography. Point is, he's a very scary, intimidating human being, despite the fact that when he puts on glasses, he looks like he belongs in like the AV Club from like Stranger Things. And now it's coming out on top of the fact that the offensive line last year was shaky at best. And that was with a very athletic quarterback in Mitchell Trubisky. Say what you want, the guy's fast and he could run around a lot. On top of that, now we're getting more and more reports that Nick Foles is unhappy, Andy Dalton's unhappy, and if 2/3, and both of them are, I would argue, are borderline starting quality quarterbacks. I think they're very, very, very good backups or starting quarterbacks. You know, they're not going to win you a whole lot of games, but they're not going to lose you. Well, Nick Foles is going to lose you a couple of games here and there. But point being, they're two veteran, established quarterbacks who have had success in this league for a very long time, including one of them recently winning a Super Bowl MVP. So, not that they have the kind of power to get somebody fired, but they have the kind of power to get a third of the team on their side. I have no experience being in an NFL locker room. I'm sure a lot of people do not. But I'm going to take a wild shot in the dark and guess that if it's like any other office space, any other workplace, people are going to pick sides. People are going to listen to what people are saying, and they are going to pick a side. And when you have that quarterback room, the most important position in sports, split 3 ways between the fresh new young guy, the guy that was promised the starting job, and a former Super Bowl MVP, things are going to get a little bit dicey. And I just think, Foles is unhappy. Dalton is unhappy. Is Fields unhappy? I mean, if 2/3 of the quarterback room doesn't want to be there, is the third guy going to be like, no, I like it here. This is fun. This is a nice, nurturing environment. Or is he going to be like, Jesus Christ, this team is beyond stupid to think that this was going to work. Why on earth do we have 2 other veteran guys who could potentially steal my job here? I was a first round pick, and now you're telling me that I have to earn it against Nick Foles and Andy Dalton, 2 guys who have not been relevant since 2017. Get out of here. So I think if I was the Bears, I would call up Indianapolis. Hey, 4th round pick, 5th round pick, 6th round pick. Hell, I'll swap 7th round picks. Take Nick Foles. Get him out of here. Get him the hell out of here. And if I'm the Bears, I'm contacting, I don't know, aside from Indianapolis, any other team. I mean, maybe hold on to Andy Dalton a little bit longer in case there's some team that their quarterback is injured. Kirk Cousins goes down and Kellen Mond isn't ready. Be like, hey, actually Minnesota's in division. I wouldn't trade him there. I'd actually just watch the Vikings suffer. But like, I don't know, the Jets or the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is going to miss 4 weeks. You want Andy Dalton? 6th round pick and he's yours. 5th round pick swap and he's yours. Get him out of here. If I'm Justin Fields and I'm walking into this quarterback room with 2 other veterans, one who recently won a Super Bowl MVP, another one who's been successful in this league for a decade, I'm saying get them the hell out of here. Justin Fields looks good. He looks very, very good. Him and Trey Lance have probably impressed more people in training camp than anyone. I think even more than Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. Trevor Lawrence, for some reason I messed up his name, even though it's the easiest name to remember. Trevor Lawrence, I forgot it again. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. There it is. I forgot about the 5th guy. But Justin Fields and Trey Lance have probably impressed more than any other quarterback of the 5 in the first round, even more than Kellen Mond, because we're not hearing anything about him from Minnesota. And if I'm Justin Fields, get them out of here. I don't care how confident he is in his abilities. It's not going to be perceived as like a weak move. It's like, you're promising me this franchise. You invested in me. You need me to be the guy. And now you're telling me that you want another person there just in case. That would not fly, okay? All right, like if I recently just got hired by this company, and if they're like, okay, well, hey, listen, we just brought in this veteran guy. You're great, Andrew. You're great at your job. But we're going to bring in this veteran guy who, he isn't as good as he once was, but, just in case, I'm going to be like, get this dude out of here. Hell no. I want nothing to do with that. And that's what concerns me, because I love what Justin Fields could bring to this offense. Because last year, and also, there's this one YouTube guy, Brett Nollman, Knollman, Brett with 2 T's. Brett Nollman, he does like a bunch of football stuff. He's great. He already kind of touched base on this a little bit, so I'll try to find his video and link it, but if I can't, just look him up. But the Bears stunk last year in trying to do long plays. They had 42 explosive meaning 20 plus yard plays, 42 explosive plays, 8th worst in the league. Fields will immediately fix that. Okay, 42 is abysmal. And we only had 3 40-plus yard plays. That's tied for last with the Patriots, who had Cam Newton, who looked like he was throwing a goddamn medicine ball. Okay, and the other sad thing about this, the Pats were first in 40-plus yard plays with 14, and we were tied for last with the Patriots. They attempted a passing play 440 times. We attempted a passing play 614. So in almost 200 more attempts, we had the same number of 40-plus yard plays. Okay, that's abysmal. That hurts. That is a terrifyingly sad statistic. Okay, so right off the bat, Fields is going to help with that. He's got a much better, much more accurate arm than Trubisky, and the same level of athleticism. I mean, I'd be shocked, frankly, if we're dead last in the league again in 40-plus yard plays and bottom 10 in the league in explosive 20-plus yard plays. I'd be shocked. I think worst case scenario, we're league average, probably maybe a little below league average, but bottom 10 and dead last in both categories, or bottom 10 in one, dead last in another. Oof. I don't think it's going to happen again. I think Fields is going to fix that, or at the very least, not have us suck so bad in long passing plays. But good news, the defense is still good. Last year we were average in rush defense and 12th in the league in pass defense in total yards for both categories. And we only allowed 4.1 yards per carry, which is top 10. It's 9th best in the league. So the defense is still there. It's not great. It's average, above average. If I could coin a phrase, above of. I'll move on. But quarterback room is going to be awkward. An awkward quarterback room never wins games. That's just a fact. Look at the Eagles. They imploded. They had one great Wentz year. He got injured. One good full postseason, and it got them a Super Bowl, and then it crippled the franchise. And they're probably never going to recover. And they might even be my sleeper pick as worst team in the league with the Jags, the Bengals, the Giants maybe. Hell if I know what they're going to do. They could win 12 games. They could win 1. I don't know. They're probably going to win at least 4, but 4 to 12 games. Shit. No idea. No clue. No idea. Oh, but moving on from that, we have basketball. Yes, we have basketball. We're going back to my roots, back to my blogger days, and Bulls finally embracing the fact that they are a big market. Okay, you know who's not a big market? New Orleans, Charlotte, Sacramento. And you know what they have to do? Oh man, they have to overpay okay players. They have to tank, they have to get high draft picks, and those draft picks, even if they're not great, they have to sign them to massive extensions. Guess what we're doing to Lauri Markkanen? Hey, we have a bag of chips and a $5 bill. They're yours if you stay, and he kind of has to. We don't have to overpay. What's his leverage? Oh, I'll leave. Okay, go. Get out of here. We could sign someone just as good as you, way cheaper. Sure, they're older, they don't have as much potential, but hey, listen, you want to stay in Chicago, you want all these great deals, you want to be like a local celebrity, all right, this is what we're going to give you. He has no leverage. We're finally embracing the fact that we are one of the 3 biggest markets, one of the 5 biggest markets in the NBA. It's the Lakers, the Celtics, Shit, probably no. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna say Lakers and Knicks are 1 and 2. Those are interchangeable, but 1 and 2, and then we're probably 3. It's probably then us, probably the Warriors and Celtics, but the bottom, like the top 2, the Lakers and Knicks are interchangeable, and the bottom 3, Celtics, Bulls, and what did I say? The Warriors. Those are probably interchangeable too. Like, although I guess once Steph Curry leaves, the Warriors are not going to be as big of a draw, but still, you get my point. Like Milwaukee is as if they didn't like if Milwaukee didn't have Giannis, they would never be talked about ever. We had LaVine and we were talked about. It's no shot at Milwaukee. Obviously, they're a better, well-run organization. Great, like top to bottom. They're like probably the most well-run organization in the NBA, I would say, easily. Like they're the way they can find talent, get buyout guys, and just make the most out of every role player. This is no shot at all at Milwaukee. But they're not a big market. They're just not. And Chicago is. They just are. That's just how it works. It's population size, it's marketability, it's location, it's everything. And Chicago is finally realizing, hey, oh my God, we can get Lonzo, we can get DeRozan, we can get any of these guys, and they want to come here because we have one of the highest home attendances in the nation. We have brand deals that they're offered because they play in Chicago. It's like, it's a great city to live in outside of the 4 months in which it's a winter hellscape. But, like, we're getting, we got a borderline all-star in DeRozan, a high quality role player in Lonzo Ball. I put him right up there with guys like high quality role players like, Buddy Hield, Lonzo Ball. I guess CJ McCollum's probably borderline all-star. He's probably as good as DeRozan. But Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, like these super like top tier role-playing guys. Ben Simmons, no, I'm kidding, he's an all-star. But JJ Redick in his prime, like these super high quality role players that like everyone needs. And we got them for 4 years, $85 million, a bargain, if you ask me, a little over $20 million. That's going to be a great look in 2 years when we're paying this guy just a little over $20 million to be a borderline all-star. And what did I say going into this season, or at the end of this season, going into the next season? I said the one thing the Bulls need, or I guess the two things they need to address more than anything else, is playmaking and defense. And we got the best playmaking and best playmaker defending point guard in the league, I think. Lonzo is one of the best defensive point guards. I'd say he's top 10. And he's one of the best playmaking point guards. I'd say he's top 10. So going into this season, we needed defense and playmaking, and we got a top 10 playmaker and top 10 defender at the most needed position in free agency with Lonzo Ball. That is such a massive fucking win. I cannot get over that. And, okay, guess who wrote an article about DeMar DeRozan like 4 months ago? Like, hey guys, don't forget how good this guy is. Okay, he's giving you 27 and 5 on great efficiency. He can't shoot the 3 ball, but my God, there's nothing he can't do on the offensive end but shoot threes. And he's such a gifted scorer. He's such a gifted scorer. He can't really shoot, but he'll keep guys honest. It's like prime Draymond Green with the Warriors. He was not going to torch you from behind the arc, but you needed to respect the shot. And that's what DeRozan is. He's not going to torch you, but you need to respect the shot because he's going to shoot it and he's going to make it 34, 35% of the time, which is not great, but it's good enough. Okay, and then we also got Alex Caruso, the greatest player of all time, the man who made LeBron what he is today. He is okay in a free agency class where, hey, did you want a good point guard? You're gonna have to pay a crap ton of money for an okay guy. You want Dennis Schroeder? That's gonna be $25 million. I was terrified we were gonna give Dennis Schroeder $25 million. I was scared shitless we were gonna do that. And he's good. He's good for $15 million. I love him for $10 to $15 million. God, I can't believe I'm talking about these pro athletes making $10 to $15 million and being like, oh, what a bargain. Jesus, what the hell has society come to? We're paying people like $10 million to play a game. But I would have given him $15 million. $20 million. Too much. 25, like he was asking for damn near max money. He's never been an all-star. He never will be. He's one of those like higher up, like high quality role players. But he's not as good as Lonzo Ball, and we got Lonzo Ball for a little over $20 million a year. I mean, that's a steal. And we have a starting lineup: Lonzo, LaVine, DeRozan, Williams, Vucevic. Yes, please, I'll take that. And somehow we still have Lauri Markkanen to dangle as trade bait? I mean, come on. There's a sign and trade with Lauri Markkanen that's just begging to happen for some desperate-ass team. Like, you're telling me we can't maybe see if we can get like a Robert Covington from the Blazers? Or what if we hit up like the Kings and we're like, hey, you guys want Marvin Bagley? Because Marvin Bagley's going to sign for dirt, you know? So why not get him? Former number 2 overall pick. I mean, hell, give him... Do what we did with Jabari Parker. Like, I loved that Jabari Parker deal we did, the 2 years, $40 million, where the second half was a team option, so it was just a 1-year rental of the guy. Do it with Marvin Bagley. I don't give a shit. He's a number 2 overall pick. See if he's still got it in him. You know? But I love this because it opens up everything for Patrick Williams to just do what he does best, and that's defend. But more importantly, that second unit, obviously he's not going to come off the bench, but there's going to be a lot of time in the game where it's going to be Lonzo Ball, DeRozan at the 2, and him. Or Lonzo Ball and him. And if you watch the Bulls last season, there were so many points in time where you saw Patrick Williams, and you know what he had to do is he had to be like this weird de facto 3-point guard, and that's not even close to what he is or what he should be doing. And now he's got the best playmaking point guard right there with him, or one of the best. Like, obviously you got like LeBron, Chris Paul, Luka, but he's there. He's top 10. And you've got him there to take all the offensive pressure off, because he knows if he gets open, he's going to get the ball. And that's the way it works. Transition offense is going to be better. And it just opens up so many ways for Patrick Williams to obviously not be like a high-level scorer, because he's got LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic all above him in terms of who's getting the ball first. But he's going to get a lot more easy, open looks that I think he was never really afforded in his rookie year. And also now his whole thing is just, hey, man, just defend. You know, you remember Kawhi in 2014 where they were just like, hey, man, you don't have to do anything offensively that isn't easy. So just defend your heart out. And it's like, hey, next time we play the Celtics, man, I feel bad for Jason Tatum. Next time we play the Nets, he's going to be on Kevin Durant, and he's such a good defender. Honestly, it's going to be fun to watch. This is a good team. This is a playoff team, easily. Maybe even like a top 4 seed. I'm just saying. How many rosters do we know for a fact are better than them? The Knicks? I don't know. I feel like we might be better than the Knicks. The Hawks? Probably. Sixers? We'll have to see what they get back for Ben Simmons, but if they keep Ben Simmons, that team is imploding. It's only a matter of time before Joel Embiid wants out if they just keep Ben Simmons there. So, I mean, Bucks? Yeah. Nets? Yeah. Sixers? Probably. Hawks? Okay, so we're probably like a 5th or 6th seed? I will take it. Yes, please. Maybe Charlotte's up there too. But, I mean, come on. This is a playoff team. They're going to be fun to watch. I see it, if we win 45, 50 games, 50 might be a little much. I'm gonna peg us for between 44 and 47 wins, I think is what our record's gonna be. 44 to 47 wins, above average. Pretty good record, winning record, finally. And moving on now, I have an odd sport to talk about. Believe it or not, your boy's a poker fan. Big poker fan. Watch a lot of poker, especially at work. Just because it's like a podcast, you don't really have to watch it. You can just listen to it. It's entertaining as hell. And guess who did a poker game? Was Phil Hellmuth, who won like 6 World Series of poker rings or bracelets, whatever the hell they categorize it as. The poker brat, probably the best poker player outside of Daniel Negreanu to ever walk. Maybe you got like Phil Ivey's up there. Maybe Phil Locke. So many Phils. Why does everyone named Phil play poker? Doyle Brunson maybe's up there, but he's one of the best ever. I think he's like the 5th most winningest guy. I know Daniel Negreanu's number 1. Tom Dwan, Tom Dwan's up there. Tom Dwan's probably my favorite, but regardless, Nick Wright played him in poker on PokerGo.com. I haven't watched it yet because it's either I watch Mamma Mia or I watch a poker match, and if you think I'm turning down me some Mamma Mia, you are sorely mistaken. But I'm gonna watch that, and it looks good. Apparently Nick Wright was winning at some point, so this is gonna be an anticlimactic ending because I just wanted to like give it, open the door for me to talk about this next time because I'm very interested in exactly how this goes down. But like, what the hell? This is so weird. Like, Nick Wright. And okay, I know what everyone's thinking. I know I'm not a big LeBron fan, and yes, I like Nick Wright. That is a huge contradiction, but go watch. He did a podcast with Arian Foster like 4 years ago, right before he got really big and like hated by everyone. I'd recommend everyone go watch that because it's like, he's actually like super smart when he's not saying dumb shit about LeBron and Jokic. But yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna talk about next time because that's super interesting. And I feel like I gotta diversify this channel a bit. So next time, get ready for weird poker with me. It's gonna happen. So just accept it and let it happen. And if you know how to play poker, great. If you don't, well, you're gonna learn anyway. Thank you all again so much for listening. Let's go Bears. As always, finally we have multiple good teams to root for. It's about time. Bear down.